Hello. Welcome to Conscious Mind Tripping with me, Audrey Newmont, reading the Mind Trip game, Play Your Way to Conscious Thinking. And we are on one of my favorite subjects, being the most valuable player, the MVP of your own game, which means meditation, visualization, and prayer. So let's get reading because I think this part is so good. So I learned to pray through the church. They didn't teach meditation or visualization. They said, ask God of things, and He will grant it to you if you only believe, and if you have been a good girl. It didn't take long for that to be added to the pile of things that I was disillusioned about. God certainly wasn't granting me anything I was begging for. He probably noticed I wasn't being so good. My wicked ways had cut me out of the grace of God. So for years, I didn't pray. I had no spiritual practice whatsoever, and my life was the epitome of dysfunction. I had a friend direct me to Agape International Spiritual Center, where I was finally able to create a strong spiritual practice. It wasn't easy at first. Meditation and prayer were incredibly challenging for me. I just could not sit still and clear my oh so busy mind. Over time, I have developed my own approach to meditation and prayer that works for me. My favorite is when I get out in nature to walk, dance, and daydream. I get into the energy of the earth and vibe with everything good. So, meditation. Turn on the headlights. There is this idea that we are just here in this little human body, and all we can see is what we know and what is presented to us. When you meditate, it gives you the ability to see more clearly the world around you outside of the car. So when you take the time to connect, it's like you're turning on the headlights and the interior light to see better what's in the darkness. So the word meditation means to become familiar with. In this context, it's that you are getting familiar with the higher parts of you, that universal intelligence. In meditation, you are connected with source intelligence. You're recognizing, I am that I am. It's a time to turn off the mind and let the unconscious chatter be silent and listen to the higher part of you. When you're meditating, you're emptying your mind and allowing. You are opening up your mind and body to source energy. Sometimes meditation will create a physical sensation. When I personally have a rush, I get a massive vibration of what I can only call life force energy. Honestly, there's not a word for describing it. It feels amazing, expansive, full, complete, turned on, pleasant, and peaceful. My body vibrates and it makes my eyes water. In meditation, I am in the flow, and it is like a beam of light going through the spinal column and into every channel in my body. It feels like the biggest happiness, the grandest love, deepest peace in a connected to everything kind of way. As an example, when I go into the woods on a solitude trip, it's a lot of meditation for most of the time that I'm gone. I hardly say very many words, and I'm in a position of allowing for intelligence to communicate with and through me. I'm in a point of being and accepting, not doing. I have found that being in nature is an excellent way to reclaim your connection with your higher power. There is not the usual distraction of our internet lives, no energetic frequencies that are unlike nature, and the earth is very calming with grounding energy. You may want to try to go to any area in nature that feels good for you. Try sitting with your shoes off and taking in all the elements around you. That's my favorite form of meditation. Your task is to experiment and test drive different approaches that will work for you. There are many ways to bring about the experience. Try some groups in your community. Try online sources or use apps with the modality that may work the best for you. I have guided meditations that you might find useful on my website and Tools for Transformation podcast. Keep going with it. Meditation is a practice. The more you do it, the more it will be natural, effortless, and expansive. On to visioning, limitless destination. Like I said at the beginning of the book, you get to create from conscious intention or unconscious consequences. When you intentionally hold a vision for your life with source intelligence and then take constructive actions, miracles will happen in your life. So, what does that mean, a vision? Or, for that matter, what exactly is visioning? Visualization is seeing within your mind the things that you want to have, what you want to accomplish, or any intention for your future. An example is to visualize yourself having that great relationship, that successful job, that dream vacation, and those little details of a great life. For me, completing this book and all the blessings that it will bring has been a great avenue for my vision. My editor mentioned that I could share with you the relationship between daydreaming and visualization, or if there is any difference between idle dreaming and a visualization. I would say that visualization is more intentional and directed to a specific purpose or something that you would like to manifest. Daydreaming is just letting your mind wander to anything that might feel good. It would be like going on a road trip with no destination, just letting your spontaneity lead the way. I did that once with my girls. What an adventure we had. Whew. With visioning, you allow for the connection with universal intelligence and be open to receive the unlimited possibilities for your best and highest to happen. When you practice visioning, you are creating a human awareness of your greatest destination. When you do this process, it creates an ability for you to see in your mind's eye the possibilities for an optimal path to take. Armed with that information, you are able to establish a mental equivalent, a new neural pathway in your brain. That's new thinking. This will then give you the ability to map out your course. With visioning, it's like telling the universe that you would love to have some leading road signs to give you direction to your best and highest happening. The process of visioning is like a mixture of meditation and visualization. You get still and in a state of allowing, but then you're asking questions, knowing that the answers are being shared with you. I believe that these questions are personal to each of us, so come up with questions for yourself prior to your visioning. Below, I'm sharing some basic questions that may be helpful for you in the mind trip for visioning. So these are different questions that you can consider asking. What is the best and highest for my love life? What vision equals success with career, education, earnings, etc. look like? What would be the best way to create more abundance? What is the vision for my healthiest body? What is the greatest vision for my happiness? What must I become to empower the vision? What must I let go of? What must I embrace? What actions can I take to manifest this vision? So have a notepad ready for those inspired thoughts. If you find yourself judging, take that to the fear into power exercise. Keep redirecting your thoughts, your car, and your feelings into the vision that is presented. And now we're on to purposeful prayer. I had such a time with prayer when I was first learning all this information. And to be honest, it is one of my practices that I've had to continually remind myself to do. I've been thinking about it a lot and pondering on why praying would be such a chore for me. On my last trip, I took the time to look back at my childhood and figure out what unconscious program that is. What I realized is that in my youth, I was not encouraged to ask for help, and I was told specifically not to take help when offered. I was taught that if you wanted something, you had to be the one to earn it, no handouts. Asking was setting myself up for not getting much of the time. So you can see the program running and why I would have trouble asking. When I was learning about prayer at Agape, I thought I would I thought it was an asking kind of thing. Actually, I thought that for many years. Thank goodness I finally understood what purposeful prayer really is and how to fully embrace my ability to use the power of prayer. This purposeful kind of prayer is not even really asking. It's more of a connection, declaration, and allowing process. Ernest Holmes' teaching were the foundation of this kind of prayer, and Greg Braden has taken that to the next level. So here's a quote by Ernest Holmes. Through the art of affirmative prayer, the limitless resources of the Spirit are at my command. The power of the infinite is at my disposal. Another from him. When prayer removes distrust and doubt and enters the field of mental certainty, it becomes faith, and the universe is built on faith. Here's another of his. Prayer is a thought, a belief, a feeling arising within the mind of the one praying. And now here's one from Greg Braden. The secret of our lost mode of prayer is to shift our perspective of life by feeling that the miracle has already happened and our prayers have been answered. Now we have the opportunity to bring this wisdom into our lives as prayers of gratitude for what already exists, rather than asking for our prayers to be answered. So here's your destination set. There's a format for the type of prayer I have learned, and I really find it valuable to use. There are 5 stages to it, and an excellent reason to use those stages. In these stages, you will see where they come from in the prior chapters. One of the most important things to remember in this kind of prayer is that it is not as much in the words as it is in the feeling of the prayer. Think back to the heart-brain connection. The brain is putting out the request in the intentional statements, and the heart is talking to the intelligence to put the request into the field of energy that you are driving into. So the 5 stages of prayer. 1, energy, intelligence, matrix. I am recognizing the intelligent energy that is everywhere present. 2, I am that I am. Divine intelligence flows through me as me. I am that I am. Power statement in action. My intentions are in action right now. Thank you. It's happening. I appreciate everything. I let it be as stage 5. My faith leads the way to my greatest and highest happening. So if you see the picture here, there's the little car on the road, and in recognition and unification, feeling that is fueling up, feeling those just powerful feelings. So purposeful for prayer is power statements program the navigational system. Appreciation is the foot on the gas. Trust and faith bring up those road signs on where we're to go, and you're arriving at your desired destination. So over the years, I have written some of my prayers down for people to give as an example. This intentional living prayer is a great one to hold close to your heart. I've used this many times in my own moments of distress and challenge, and it's really helped me to realign my feelings and thoughts. More importantly, it brings me back to home, the deep connection with my higher self, that God connection. So this is an intentional living prayer. So as I'm saying this, just really tap into the feelings around it. I recognize that we live in a vast, limitless sea of energy, of intelligent energy, a divine matrix. This energy is receptive to me and I create within it. I access knowledge and access my infinite power through this universal mind. I pray from a place of recognizing that this powerful, co creative energy is the I am that I am. I am one with the creative intelligence of the universe. I allow myself to be fully connected with and as this greater power. I am fully present to this divine energy as it flows in and as me. It is the intelligence that I consciously use to create my human experience. Divine right action is always taking place in my life. Peace and calm are the order of this day. I live in love, knowing that my intelligence and wisdom guide me toward creating even more intentionally. I constantly say yes to happiness, yes to abundance, yes to clarity, and yes to moving forward in my life on purpose. I consciously own a truth that is powerful. I do this all with ease and grace. I stand buoyed in my faith, knowing that all things are happening with my highest and best taking place. I appreciate that I am creating something wonderful for myself. I'm grateful to have the willingness and the ability to recreate my life from greater intention. I feel so good to know that I live in a supportive universe and that all is well. I stand in these words of truth, knowing that it is done, and I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. I highly recommend that you create your own rhythm of meditation, visualization, and prayer. Experiment with different approaches to see what will fit your personality and lifestyle. Go to the YouTube link for more information on this one. Seriously, I could talk for days about this subject. So when it says the YouTube link, that means I'm going to be creating more YouTubes around all of this and taking it to the next level. So this will be a finished chapter here, and we're on to the last one on the next segment. So thanks again for joining me for all of these, and we have one more to go. I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye for now.